I forgot the intro, but welcome to
the Artistry podcast.
Yeah, we are starting a new series, so to speak. We're going to call it something along the lines of unedited, less effort, more content. And we just want to bring more content. Yes, and one of the reasons there isn't much content coming over is because it requires quite a bit of editing. And with this, we were hoping to keep it simpler, less work, but we can be more regular. Because recording is fun, editing not as much. Unless you want to do that job for free. If you want to be a slave for the Artistry podcast.
Not slave, just a volunteer.
Oh, volunteer, yes. That's why we have Sev here. That's why he's the PR.
Also, that reminds me. Like a couple of weeks ago, I actually went on a holiday trip to Malta. And the purpose of there was to visit the island, very nice, but also to visit a friend of ours who is working there. And we've thought that she was actually working there, as a job, getting paid, whatever. No, she actually went to Malta to work as a volunteer. She basically has been living there for a month without getting paid. Like, she's getting paid in housing and sometimes food. So I guess we could do something similar for the Artistry podcast. If you edit for us, we'll maybe give you housing. And by housing, I mean an acknowledgement that you exist.
Oh, I like that. I wasn't sure where that was going, but I like that bit. Yeah, an acknowledgement. Housing on our page.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I was worried for a bit. Oh my god, I don't know.
Yeah, as I was speaking, I was kind of like, oh no, I'm getting stuck in a corner.
Yes, but anyway, this is going to be the gist of these recordings. We're just going to chat around, and hopefully have a presence in your life. Have a, real estate in your mind. Is that what they call it? There's some expression about that.
Yeah, free real estate in your mind. Also, I have to give a little warning. While we're doing this podcast, I am also watching a Manchester United game. I'm a Manchester United fan. And if at any moment we score a goal, I might just give a little yelp of excitement. And I apologize for that. I'm trying to be professional.
Well, there you go.
While watching football.
Professional, yes, of course. This is common trend here at Artistry podcast. Actually, I think we've been doing a very good job. I think we have. Just consistency has been an issue. But, again...
That's the biggest hurdle, really, is to keep to a schedule. Because if we were getting paid, I'd be pretty easy to be consistent. But since we have to balance our professional lives and our personal lives, that's the biggest hurdle.
Yeah, we could talk a little bit of maybe what's been happening in our lives, maybe 5 minutes each, just to give some context why there hasn't been stuff coming out. But also, in regards to what you mentioned, the money, we do want to launch a donation page, and then hopefully we will see that there is actually a more tangible interest, and then we will have more motivation to do this. And who knows, maybe eventually quit our jobs. I hope no one from work is listening to this.
No. Especially mine. I know some bastards from my work probably are listening. I have a story about that as well. All right, so I have a few things that I can already talk about. So, first of all, just to finish the house cleaning thing you were talking about, we also wanted to make a contest. We still don't know quite the details of the contest or the prize. We're still figuring that out, but we do know that we want to make a contest down the line. Now, back to my funny little anecdote. I work for a newspaper, right? And part of my work also includes making illustrations for a magazine. And so basically, my boss told me, can you make an illustration of this famous a Portuguese weightlifter? She broke a world record, and we're really proud of her and want to make an illustration of her for to cover a whole magazine page. I'm sure. I started making that illustration. It started coming out really good. I was really proud of it. So I then asked my boss to say, hey, is it okay if I can then publish this on my personal socials, like Instagram, my website, and whatever? And my boss at the time said, yeah, sure, you can do that. Just don't forget to acknowledge that, the name of the magazine and its property of the magazine and JN and yada, yada, yada. Okay. So basically, as soon as I finished the drawing, I immediately posted it on Instagram. And here's the thing. Immediately, I got a call from one of the bosses of JN saying, dude, you can't fucking do that. It's not out. It's not been published yet. You can't share an illustration that's not been published yet. And it was like it took an hour. Like and I didn't even think that my bosses follow me on Instagram or anything. But it took like an hour. Immediately they called me and said, "You got to take that shit down, motherfucker. You got to." And they were already like censoring me and like, "You can't do this ever again. This is a very serious problem that you just made." And now, fuck, shit, sorry, dude. Jesus, chill the fuck out.
But in a way, it's kind of nice that people follow you, right? It's good stuff.
I was surprised at how quick it was. I'd imagine that eventually my boss would have found out. Like it would take a day or something. But the guy was like instantly is like, "Oh no, you got to take it down right now because you can't do that. It's not been published on the magazine yet, so you can't be posting it on your socials." And so yeah, that was my big snafu. So since then, by the way, I've been too scared to republish it, repost it again. Like it's been a month almost since that little thing happened, and I still haven't posted it on my Facebook. Okay. It's just funny that that illustration that I made, basically it had likes from my mother, from my girlfriend, and basically had very few views. And one of those views, I suppose, likes would have been from my goddamn boss. So be careful what you guys post out there is a fancy tip. Or also fancy tip is respect schedules. Oh shit.
Right. Did someone score? Is that what happened?
Against Manchester United. Son of a bitch.
Oh well, that's the life of Sev's mind.
Yeah, Jesus fucking Christ. Again, on sports very quickly. Manchester United has been playing like absolute shit. Like they have one of the most expensive teams in the world, and they're tying right now with the last place of the league. So about you, Jay, how's it been going? I suppose you have bigger news to tell.
No, well, yeah. Let's just take a few minutes to chat a little bit of what's been going on in our lives. Mm-hmm. I'll use the segue of the sports to say that now that summer's around, I've been playing beach volleyball pretty much every weekend. Cool. Which is nice. I mean, it's mostly like physical exercise, not very serious stuff, because the group is very different levels all over the place, right? But it's been nice to actually do some stuff, like actually move about and in a fun way. So that's been a positive thing. A negative thing of the summer or spring is I'm dying from allergies. It started last night. Yeah, it's been great, and I'm going to look into immunotherapy. That takes like 3 to 5 years, and with variable effectiveness. And yeah, that's the bad aspect. Another thing, like I don't know if you've heard, but there has been war on Ukraine, which affected me perhaps more closely than other people.
Yeah,
we've had.
Have we ever disclosed that you have Ukrainian descent?
Well, I don't know. It doesn't matter. I do. Well, there we go. Mm-hmm. But yes, there has been a family of so my mother's friend's family has come to Portugal probably about last month, and we helped them set up the documents and set up or look for a housing, which actually was very surprising because the lady who rented out the house, she told them, you can rent until was it end of April or end of May because of the holiday season, because she wants to rent it out on a weekly basis. But then and she was going to charge I don't know, like €500 a month, but then once she understood that they were
refugees
running she made it free, so she just charges for the utilities, so water, gas, electricity.
That is very nice of her.
So yeah, that was very surprising. Restores your faith in humanity.
True,
which is not just about money. But yeah, that happened, and obviously, like, there are other family members who have come in touch, and but they are not in very bad areas, I guess. So they kind of didn't decide to move away. I mean, I know people who, like friends or acquaintances, that like moved out on the first day. They're just like, okay, screw this, we're out. Like, not even taking any, we're abandoning this house, just taking all the essentials, the family, we're out of here.
There was a story. like when there was still talks about a potential war, like there was this phase even in Ukraine where people were like, it's not as serious as the media makes it believe. Putin is not going to invade Ukraine. Okay, that's just crazy talk. And during that stage, there was this artist that I follow on YouTube, and he is Ukrainian, and he was saying, you know what? It's probably not going to happen. There's probably not going to be a war. But just to be safe, and because I have the benefit of being an artist and I can work from anywhere, I'll probably decide to just make a small vacation to Moldova for a few weeks just to see, just until things calm down. And like the following weekend, the war broke out. So Jesus Christ, man, Jesus, if he hadn't done that, he would probably be, I would say, quote unquote, stuck in Ukraine because, the male population aren't allowed to leave. They have to basically participate in the war. So wow,
he might be pretty much dead as well. So.
Maybe, it's been
But anyway, let's move on from that and just bring some context. I've also had a little bit extra work in the evening, so less time to edit or less willpower to edit. What's up with you, Sev? What's been going on?
I feel like your work is going to correlate with what I've been doing recently, which is making a board game. Have you been playing a lot of board games? You told me a couple of times that you basically have this now board game night, which sounds freaking amazing.
Yes, weekly I've been doing that. It's been, more or less people depending on the days. It's been moved to Fridays. Like last time, it was just me and one more person, which is nice because we do have like one or two player games to play. Yeah.
I do.
In regards to that, I'm going to ask you to send time stories because I have a friend who asked me about it. Like, what's with the game? I want to play it. So yeah, just plug in there.
Oh, fucking shit! Yeah, fucking yeah. I completely forgot about
just
time stories. Yeah. Anyways, I do. Yeah, I have time stories for a bit of context. Is a game that you bought, a board game, but you bought it in Port, which is the city where I live. So I kind of had the benefit of testing it out for you. But then, like a complete hog that I am, I completely forgot to return you your game. So I'll try and remember that. But I have been creating my own board game because I have this immense fascination with board games as well. I love tabletop games. I like dungeon crawls and all that sort of stuff. I also love Dungeons and Dragons, which I know you're not a big fan of. And I think part of the reason why Dungeons and Dragons is so divisive is because the concept of the game is really fun, but the rule set is absolutely for lunatics. So what I wanted to do, what I've been doing, is I've been trying to use the module, the template of Dungeons and Dragons, and just try and cut all the excess of it, and create a more streamlined character building process, a more streamlined adventuring process, so that you can start and end a campaign in an hour, which is unthinkable in Dungeon. If you play a Dungeons and Dragons session, basically you have to dedicate 6 hours of the day for it, and that's basically just to create your character. It's insane. So I've been trying to simplify, streamline, and make it so that you don't need a dungeon master. Basically, as a group of players playing against the board, and which also allows for you to play solo if you want. So I'm actually really excited with the ideas that I've been testing out, and like. Previously in the past, I've also tried I've always been wanted to create board games, and I've always hit this wall where the game starts getting too complicated. Like you always add, and this idea would be cool, and this idea would be cool, and this idea would be cool. And going back to the theme of artistry, that happens almost in everything. Like you always want to add more to whatever you're creating, and to the point where it gets so bloated, or sometimes you end up ruining it. And that is especially true in board games when it gets just that little. If you add 2 more words on the rule set, you basically ruin it. It gets way too complicated. So, and I'm quite happy that right now I've reached the point that on this board game that I'm creating, it is easy enough to pick, play, and it is complex enough that you have a lot of variables and a lot of choice of building. So I'm happy with the balance.
Okay, cool. Making some board games in the background. Are you on the Artistry podcast all about art and other stuff? Creativity.
Board games are art.
It is. They are. It's a medium of experience, right?
Yeah. Also, because we started this podcast as kind of like a promotional tool for my books, I should say, out of honesty, that I've been going through this amazing writer's block, writer's rut, where I don't feel like writing, and I'm having a really hard time getting the energy to resume what I've been my previous projects. And I know that I'm going to pick it up again, but yeah, probably in the future podcast when we have a bit more time, we can explore that. Why does it suck to feel like you just don't want to create? Or you feel like, because it's a double-edged sword where you don't feel like creating, but when you're not creating, you also feel like shit because you should be creating. So there's no winning situation. You just feel like shit.
Spiral, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it also depends on how you interpret it, because I've learned to accept that sometimes you just need to back off something and, just not think about it. And I think I'm okay with that. Like some people are a bit more neurotic about those things, especially if you have deadlines and stuff that maybe you yourself set up or someone else is imposing on you. I think that's worse. When someone else imposes something on you, you just feel a little bit trapped, don't you? In this case, you shouldn't be, I think, because it's your own project, your own thing. You're the boss.
Yeah, but sometimes you being the boss it's like that old saying, like the worst patient is a doctor. Sometimes you're the most demanding person is yourself, and you kind of feel like you always feel like, I should be working, but I don't feel like it. I don't have the energy for it. So yeah, that's my my headspace for the last month. So, and I'm taking that break with the board game, which I'm really excited, and then I'll tackle the writing again. It's all about that.
Sounds good to me. Anyway, we have just a few minutes as we want to keep this short. Just give it a try, this short format, unedited, uncensored.
Yeah, it's a quick hello, just we're still alive. It's just a friendly reminder.
Yeah, we want to do this, it's just that, unfortunately, this cannot be the main focus of our lives as much as we'd like to. Or, I mean, honestly, if this wouldn't be the main focus, there would be so much other random shit I would do. I'd be like the owner of all the board game shops in Europe. I would create a monopoly. Like, screw the competition, man. I don't know. I would put a European Union directive just that all board game shops must belong to us or to me. I don't know. If you don't want to be a part of it, to me it's fine.
Also, during this last month, we me and my girlfriend, we ended up going to a board game shop, a board game like house where people not only buy board games, but they also like have the basement where they play. Like, we went there because we wanted to buy a gift for my brother for his birthday. And like, we were looking at the shop, we were looking at the merch and all the cool stuff, and we realized that there was a basement, and we went to the basement to see what was going on, see if other merch, and they were having this tournament. I think it was Magic the Gathering tournament. And my girlfriend, she kind of just leaned to me and said, I kind of feel like I don't belong here. She was the only woman in a building with like 40 men. We cornered. It's talking about monopoly. We own that monopoly. It leans very heavily on male audience. Like, there was literally my girlfriend was the only woman there, and she was probably the first woman to enter that building in 2 years.
Oh, I have to give a counterbalance argument there. I've had pretty much, well, not 50-50, but about 40-60%, 40 female, 60% male in my board game groups.
Cool.
I will say that there are plenty females who like board games, but perhaps it's just not as common for them to.
I guess Magic the Gathering is the.
Oh yeah,
was the reason.
Maybe more so. Yeah. So, and also I will say that I've been finding women to play board games with to moderate success on Tinder, which is surprising, right?
I mean, it's so much fun.
One moved to Porto, by the way. She found a job. She's moved to Porto now.
Oh, nice.
And she's working there. I don't know if she's still into board games. I mean, she has a new job. Which is in her area. She's been waiting for the. I don't know if you're familiar. I don't know. In Portugal, there's a thing EFP, which is like.
Yes, I know. Oh, that's amazing. Pipas, my girlfriend, used to work there. She used to intern there even.
Okay. No, but she didn't get a job at that place. She got a job through that place in human resources for some company. But yeah, anyway.
That's amazing.
So,
because my girlfriend also wants to work in human resources. What the fuck? Well, that is a huge.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Peeps had like education in that field or not, but this one, she had education in that field. She was frustrated. She didn't get anything. She was here like in Portimão, where I live, for several months, and then she was trying to wait for a proper job, so she didn't want to take like a shitty, restaurant or whatever, like crappy stuff. So good on her. Good for her that she was able to wait it out.
And also, just to conclude the conversation of the board games, also because we're sort of running out of time, I do think that board games is a sort of medium that, even if you're not a fan, like not even a fan, I think that most people don't know that they like it, because they associate it with being childish, or they associate board games with just being like Monopoly or Risk or whatever. And then when you show them like the potential of board games, they kind of go like, you know what, this is actually pretty goddamn cool. And I feel that that's the obstacle between why we don't see, like, I don't know, more women, I suppose, in playing board games, or why people just immediately seem to always like it. It's because they're not aware that how much fun there is, or how much choice and variety there is.
Yeah,
besides goddamn Monopoly.
Variety. Yeah, I think choice and variety is a big thing, because there are many different types of experiences you can have.
Yeah.
But okay, I think we'll kind of wrap this up. Do you think we can do the outro without the notes? Do we still remember?
Oh my god, no. Oh, without the notes, I'm completely useless. I'm trash garbage.
Okay.
I don't even know my own name without the notes.
Anyway, I'm Jay.
I'm Sev.
Artistry podcast.
Signing off.
Perfect. We got it.
Nailed it. Nailed it in one.
Okay. Well, I think I'm happy with this. We'll set this out as it is.